Right now, Caddo Commission President Stephen Jackson here. Hey, Mr. Stephen, how are you today?
Good morning, Erin. Good morning, Robert. How you doing?
So 6-6 on the vote to do a disbanding of the Citizens Advisory Committee on the Confederate Monument downtown. Is this a good thing, a bad thing? Were you surprised? Tell us about the meeting yesterday.
Well, wasn't surprised, but the vote came down as I had kind of predicted it would have come down, and not surprised, not disappointed. Folks voted how they felt, and we moved on down the road. So, I mean, I certainly appreciate the work that the committee is doing, so I look forward to getting their recommendation. Did you vote to disband the committee? If not, why not? Well, I voted, and I'm going to put my political science hat on for a moment, but I voted to disband the committee out of just the courtesy to my colleague who wanted to see the issue go forward. For me, this issue is not the biggest priority on my list. It is a priority. I share some concerns, but it's not the biggest priority on my list. So,
does Stephen Jackson want the monument gone?
Well, I have consistently said to folks, we have several issues throughout Caddo Parish. Right now I'm not ready to go out publicly and say whether I'm for or against that monument being there. I get calls about folks asking about jobs. I get calls about folks asking about economic development, property standards, crime. I don't get overarching calls about the monument, but I am sensitive to the connotation and the history that relates to what the monument stands for.
Is it offensive? Is it offensive to you?
Well, it's not an issue for me, but I'm not down there to serve my interests. I'm down there to serve the public interest, and so I always keep that in play. It could go either way, and I try to listen to both sides. I try to be very open-minded about how I approach the issue. People feel strongly both ways about it, and it's not my goal to diminish one side or the other. It's my goal is to sit back, listen to both sides, and make a respectable and responsible decision.
Lyndon Johnson would have had you make that decision yesterday. He wanted to disband the committee and vote on it.
Well, no.
Were you prepared?
It would have been a two-step process. So
okay.
It would have been to disband the committee. Now, we still are a parliamentary body, so just because the committee would have been banned, you still would have needed a vote or a recommendation from the long-range subcommittee to at least get it to our body. And so just because if that would have happened yesterday, there was no guarantee that it would have gotten a hearing yesterday or next week or a week after. It's still another process in play, and so that's what I want folks to remember.
Stephen, when we had talked to Lyndon earlier this week, he's of the position that the Caddo Commission does, in fact, that Caddo Parish owns the land the monument's on, that it's an open and shut legal case. There are others that obviously disagree. What do you think about that? I assume at some point you or other members of the commission have, in fact, spoken to lawyers about who owns the land. What do you think about all that?
Well, here's been my position. And I take a different way to a certain conclusion. Or not my conclusion, but to a different form of logic to get to a certain point, not conclusion. If the land is actually owned by the parish, then, we get in this argument with the administration at times saying that, the administration has certain duties and the commission certain. Well, if this is on Caddo Parish land, I feel that it's an administrative function. Y'all go take the statue down. Don't put the burden on me to do it, because in this case, it seems like they're shifting their burden. But if I wanted to go put a Dodgers sign or a Dallas Cowboy sign out in front of juvenile services, administration would say that's a day-to-day operation issue. So that's one question that I have, or question mark that I have about that. The other is, if it's private property, if it's private property, then you have to deal with, is it properly zoned? And so now you got non-conforming use. Should it be there in the first place? So, I think if everybody kind of takes a step back and try to talk to each other, not talk around each other, or talk, in different directions, there's a solution that I hope we all can come up with as a community, as opposed to tearing the community apart.
Are you optimistic that at some point a conclusion, a compromise on the monument can be reached where it's not going to end up in court and not cost the citizens of Caddo Parish a whole bunch of money?
Well, just the society we live in, folks have a right to sue just about anything, especially in Louisiana, if you talk to some of the trial lawyers. So that's never a guarantee that you won't end up in court. But I do believe that there may be an opportunity to get a compromise going, or there may be an opportunity to come up with community-driven solution. And so, community, whatever conclusion that has to be reached should involve the community.
Any kind of time frame on the commission actually taking a stand, making a vote? Do you have?
I'm going to be totally honest with you. As I said earlier, this is not the highest priority on my radar. Folks are being shot. Folks are being afraid in their home. Folks are looking for jobs out here. We need industry and economic development to locate here. That's where I'm at, and I have yet to meet a company or business or industry that says, that statue it's an issue for us, and we don't, tell us about this monument. They want to know about our schools. They want to know about our quality of life. They want to know about our infrastructure. And so while I say it's an important social issue, it does have its social, and I don't want to diminish its social aspects, not one bit. But should this be the clarion call of the day? We've got to get on one accord. But I believe at some point there's some compromise down the road.